Hello, hello! Pete's Packs here for our Saturday, April 8th live stream. Just hanging out, cleaning up the desk, getting some stuff done. Hopefully setting up some more of our equipment. And figuring out what our next batch of videos is going to be. So, probably not a whole lot to look at on the desk itself, but we've got a ton of stuff getting ready. Okay. Then we have a whole lot of secret lair boxes to break down. Because that is a thing. They take up so much space. Yeah. Alright. What to do first? It's a whole bunch of cardboard. The spacers from the old fat packs take up a surprisingly large amount of space. Unless you flatten them out. It is raining today. It was raining yesterday too. Getting quite a few storms. So taking stuff out to the recycling is a little wonky at the moment. That's a whole thing. We will get there. Okay, so that's those. Put the outer boxes there. Inner boxes over here. Sleeves. Here. I know all of you can't see this, but one of the things about me is that I've discovered over the years, if I talk out what I'm doing as I do it, it helps me focus on what I'm doing. Definitely weirds out some people. So, all these secret lair boxes. Those are outers. Those are two-part boxes. Outer sleeves. Outer wraps that seem to be broken down. Boxes. More outer wraps. More outer wraps. That's just a bundle of packing paper. Okay. It's a box that needs to be broken down. That's a box that needs to be broken down. It's all good. Wow. So something kind of funny. I've had some people bring this up in the past. Oh! But Um, well, by some people, I mean like people who have lived with me. I recycle at a rate of about 10 to 1. So for every, like, I tend to prefer paper packaging and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So, like, for every pound of trash that I generate, it's generally about 10 pounds of recycling. Because I try to prefer recyclable packaging, recyclable options. I use a lot of paper and cardboard and stuff like that. A lot of glass, a lot of metal. Not a whole lot of plastics if I can avoid it. So it's always kind of bothered me when, like, for instance, the city that I live in, our recycling only goes out every other week. I used to have to get really, really aggressive with how much I broke down recycling, especially cardboard, because the recycling pickup was only every other week. So I have built this habit of just breaking everything down to pretty small sizes. So that I can fit more in the recycling bin. Then I found out that the city actually lets you have a second bin if you buy one. So of course I bought one. Same thing for yard waste and regular trash. So, in my neighborhood, we are the only house that has 2 recycling bins, 2 yard waste bins, and 1 trash bin. And the 1 trash bin is never out at the road. Because it never gets filled. We've actually gone 6 months before without putting out our trash bin, just because it took 6 months to get our trash bin halfway full, which was kind of funny. Just not really material to anything, just funny. So, yeah. Oh, that's right. I need to find that old phone for my nephew. So I have a nephew that's super into phones, and for whatever reason, just loves Apple products. I feel like I have failed him as a tech uncle, or as an uncle in tech. That he's just so into Apple phones. I was like, yeah, man, like, there's better stuff out there. Apple's not the end-all be-all. Like, you're falling for marketing. And I finally got through to him very recently by showing him, side-by-side specs for several phones. And he's like, now I see. I still don't like the way Android looks, though. I'm like, damn it. Come on, man. That's all right. Now, when it comes to tablets, I'll give Apple that. Like, their tablets are very good. But their actual phones are kind of garbage, if I'm being honest. So. I just realized all my lights are not on. By all my lights are not on, I mean none of my lights are on. Very gloomy-ish day today. That's the whole thing. Stuff still isn't ending up in the right place. I should fix my settings, but I don't know what to fix. I can switch profiles? Ooh. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna set up some different profiles. We're gonna set up some scenes tied to those profiles. Yeah. All right, profile. Nice. All right, streaming horizontal. Bottom's going to be horizontal. And then scene horizontal. We've got document cam, webcam. Oh, that's cool. Now we've got document cam. Man, I really like this stream deck. This is so freaking cool. We've got our vertical setup, our vertical scene. We've got our streaming setup. Oh, I don't like how that looks. We've got webcam for streaming, doc cam for streaming. That looks like crap on there. Oh, that is cool. Oh, it's going in the wrong place because I'm in the wrong profile. Duh. That makes sense. Ooh. Yeah, I like that layout. I really should make like a outro thing, intro, and a be right back scene. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm working on my stream deck setup. Ooh. Let's do it. I don't really come over here for that. Okay. Lovely cow, lovely girl. What does multi-action do? Oh, it's just a set of chains. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, that's not helpful. Alright, how do I get out of this? Okay, I'm gonna junk that. I don't need that. Though, I do want to do this instead. I like that idea. So that'll be my nav. I don't know what to put there. Have any other things set up to it just doesn't work. Oh, that's funny. I do kind of wish I had the stream deck with the little dials on it. The thing looks so cool. There's a pedal? Oh, that's cool. Safe mode. Wait, hate raids are a thing? Who the fuck hate raids people? That's so fucked up. Never trust safe mode, it's a trap? I don't understand. Hey Scorpion Ruff, how are you doing today? How's the weather you're in Scotland, right? We've had quite a bit of English weather lately. It's been rainy and gloomy. No, I didn't get to go to MagicCon. I really wanted to. I went to school in Philly. I love Philly as a city. It was one of my favorite places to live around the world. I love the food, love the people. It's a great city to live in. A lot of really cool stuff. But I bought Festival in a Box. It's been a lot warmer than usual. So yesterday was cold, but the day before it got up into the upper 80s here, Fahrenheit, of course. What is that? Let's see. Gotta check. See it. It got up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit in my office. So it was 30 degrees C in my office. Oh, the Eagles are fine. So I picked up 3 of them, which is the limit of what you could get, and I streamed opening them. It was one of my first streams. I don't remember which one it was. Because it actually came in one day while I was streaming, so I just opened the box. And I'm genuinely irritated that you couldn't buy 4 of them because of the secret lair that came with them. I wanted the 4th secret lair, and you just couldn't get it. So I don't want to pay scalper prices for it. So I'm gonna have to find someone that has one. But no, I got the yeah. So I ended up with 3 of these. One of them is misprinted. I'm definitely hanging on to the misprinted one for myself because I love misprinted stuff. But I will likely give one away on the stream. Yeah. Well, I mean, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away the playmat, a playmat and a deck box from it. So those are cool. And at some point, I need to open the mystery booster boxes that came with them. Now, for the Minneapolis one that they just did, I picked up 3 of that too. Because again, it was restricted to 3. Like, it's not like they can't make more of them and set the sell limit to 4. They just choose not to because they are time boxed on demand. So I don't understand why they don't just do that. But the Arcane Signet that they're going to be giving away in the Minneapolis box is the same one from the Philly box. So I'll have 2 extras of those that I'll be giving away on stream once we hit either 500 or 1,000. I'm not sure which one I posted that at. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm planning to do as giveaways. But it's really hard for me to justify giveaways at the subscriber point that I'm at, if that makes any sense. Because I don't know if most people realize this or not, but you make 0 money on YouTube until you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So it's a thing. I mean, the timing is going to be off anyway. Um, and that's because there's like a 15-second delay, I think, from the ingestion servers. So, it is what it is. What's funny is even with OBS connecting directly to the chat, there's a bit of a delay between what I see on the chat on screen and the actual chat connection. So sometimes I'll have the chat open on another computer. But we also just did a neat little throwback to Magic Origins this past week. So half the videos should be up now. There should be another 3 going up over the next 4 days. Tomorrow will be Secret Lair Sunday releases. And I recorded 6 Secret Lair Sunday videos yesterday. So that should cover the next, at most, 3 weeks. I might double up for a couple of days. Yeah, it has the cool art phage. It also has the first alternate art Sen triplets that's ever been printed. So, and the other thing about that really irritates me is that it's only available in foil. I have a love-hate relationship with foils. Like, I am a competitive. First and foremost, I'm a competitive player. So, if something is inherently going to risk me getting a DQ, I'm not for it, if that makes any sense. So foils curling as much as they do is a really big sticking point for me. Yeah, so with the festival in a box, you really need to foils Pringle. With the festivals in a box, you really need to set an alarm for when they first go on sale, because they normally sell out in the first hour. That's what happened with Philly. I think Minneapolis, the sale made it to like 6 hours before they sold out. I don't remember exactly. I missed the Las Vegas one. That was last year, which was the first festival in a box. Just because I didn't see the post for it until like the day after, and it apparently sold out in like the first 30 minutes. So, just something to be aware of. I really wish that Wizards Wizards/Hasbro would get on the fucking ball and just sell their stuff in one place, because they've been doing this really shitty thing where they either sell it through the Hasbro Pulse store, the Secret Lair store, the Hasbro Gaming store, which is a garbage site. They did some stuff through eBay, and they do some stuff through some of their other channels. It's like, well, if you're going to do these limited edition releases or these limited releases that are branded Secret Lair, why the fuck are you not selling them through your Secret Lair site? Like, you have a site for this, and yet they keep going back to some of these older systems they were using, which were what caused the problems in the first place that forced them to create the Secret Lair site. I was on typed in just chatting on YouTube, and I was on the 4th page. Oh, that's cool. Welcome, Mother Liquor 69. Wow, that's a name. So we actually pulled that in one of the Origins fat packs. I think it was video 2. I think it was the second fat pack. We have this really cool stuff. Nice. Yeah, I have. I've never actually browsed the live tab on YouTube to see what other people do. I stream pretty much every morning, unless I have a really good reason not to. I try to stream for about an hour a day, and that's normally around. I generally start around 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern. No, this is not Yu-Gi-Oh! It's Magic the Gathering. You bought the Commander Black Premium box before Phyrexian Arena was worthless? Hey man, Phyrexian Arena sees so few reprints that I guarantee you in the next 5 years it'll be back up to $20. I still have my 9th edition. Like my 9th edition Phyrexian Arenas and what was, I think my Tempest ones? Was it Tempest that it was originally in? Hey man, you would be surprised. There are people that come into chat that are like, "Is this Pokemon? It looks like Pokemon. I have no idea what this is." Let's see, when was the first printing of Phyrexian Arena? Wait, was that APOC? No, it was Apocalypse, or was it Nemesis? I think it was Apocalypse when it was first printed. Like, I know I still have my original ones. Phyrexian Arena printings. Wow, this thing's got a lot of printings. What the fuck? Yeah, it was originally printed in APOC. So APOC, 8th edition, 9th edition. HOP, what is that? And it was also in dual decks. It was in one of the dual decks. That's online only. It was in Commander 15. It was in Conspiracy 2. Then it was in the Commander product, and then it was reprinted again. There are 5 different treatments for the Phyrexia All Will Be one? That's so dumb. You've got regular, you've got Phyrexian, you've got borderless, you've got promo stamped, and then you've got pre-release stamped. It's 5 different treatments for Jesus fucking Christ. They need to stop doing that with the treatments. That's dumb. Dude, I was able to get one. I was able to get one complete bundle. Let's see. Just go because I have like 8 now. Yeah, I think I had somewhere around 20 before Phyrexia All Will Be one, and now I think I've got like 33, 34, something like that. We pulled a few of them, and then they came in the bundles. Promo stamped is not in the complete bundle. Promo stamped only comes from the promo pack and the foil promo pack that you can get at F&M. Yes, I have seen a number of YouTubers that already have March of the Machines, which really is shitty because March of the Machines product isn't supposed to drop for another 3 weeks. I don't understand it. And the complete bundles, like, you can get them now for like 130. think you have a stuffy doll card somewhere. Yeah, that's the thing. WP, so GG well played. Yeah, so the one that comes in the complete bundle is the Phyrexian edition one. It comes with it. Dude, I was able to get one locally. I pre-ordered 12 online, and all of my pre-orders have been canceled. Because I pre-ordered them at $70, and all of my pre-orders got canceled. So I know how you feel there. I was able to pick up one locally for like 130. And the store that I bought it from is my LGS. They only had 12 allocated. I was going to buy them out, but they put a restriction on one per person because people were scalping them and trying to sell them for like 700 a piece. But now you can pick them up on eBay for like 120. So I am considering picking up another 7 at least. I'm not sure if I want a total of 8 at the end of it or 12. I originally wanted 12 of them, so that I could have 24 of each of the lands. Yeah, which is shitty, and they shouldn't be able to do, but they did it anyway. So one of the places was Star City Games, which I have long-standing beef with Star City. Not a fan of them at all. And then Card Kingdom also did it, and there was a third vendor. There was a small vendor. I can't remember what they were called. But I think they were like out of Ohio or Kentucky, something like that. Yeah, they canceled it because they were sure that they could get more for it, or they wanted to scalp them. I mean, I get why they did it. It's still wrong that they did it. Like, what's the point of pre-ordering if they're going to cancel on you and screw you over? Yeah, that happened to a lot of places. My LGS tried to, like, their allocation was supposed to be 500 units. They got 12. Like, their allocation limit was supposed to be 500 units on complete bundles. And they were actually allocated 12. Like, they tried to buy as many as they could, and they got their allocation cut down to 12, which is fucking stupid. Whereas Wizards also pre-sold them on Amazon, which if I had seen that when it was up, I would have bought, you know, all 12 on Amazon, and then bought whatever I could from my LGS. It's not necessarily WotC. It's a combination of WotC and Hasbro, and then the distributors themselves. And it's because the distributors know that they can get away with doing that shit because they have all the power after WotC and Hasbro. So it's dumb. The shit that they're doing is fucking dumb. And it keeps going forth between just complete business ineptitude and which, you know, we can all kind of armchair quarterback that. But it keeps going between business ineptitude and cash grabs. And they keep doing it, and it's so irritating. Did they provide a tracking ID? So, yeah, I have one collector's booster box ordered. I actually need to go and pay for my pre-order for March of the Machines. But the pre-orders for March of the Machines are like twice what they usually would be. So, like, just the normal order that I do, I normally order a case of set boosters, at least one collector's box, if not a case of collector's boxes, and then 4 of each commander deck to make sure that I don't get burned on anything for Legacy or Vintage. especially since these are going to have the plane chase, um, the plane chase planes in them. And normally that's around, depending on the set, that's normally between, like 1100 and 1300. This time it's over 2000. So. No tracking number, no, or nothing. Okay, who did you order from? You ordered it on Card Market. Well, like, was it a verified seller on Card Market? So I don't normally go through Card Market, so I don't know how that is. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I also heavily invest on I heavily invest in Magic, because even though I don't sell, like I've been playing for 30 years at this point, and I used to play very competitively, and I still play reasonably competitively in paper. So I like to have a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so they escrow it. That's cool. I like that. I like that Card Market does that. There's something really funny, and I don't know how you would do this directly, because I don't know how Card Market's international shipping works. I know you're not supposed to be able to create an account there unless you're in Europe or APAC. But there's a difference. There's a big enough difference in price on some cards between Europe and America that I could really see somebody doing arbitrage by buying cards in Europe and selling them in America, or vice versa. Because there's definitely a spread there. But I feel like that would feed into the whole MTG Finance Bros thing, which I hate that. I hate that group as a whole, because I feel like they are taking advantage of the economics of the game. That, and they're the jerks that'll buy up like 900 copies of Wheel of Fortune and cause it to go from being a $3 card to being a fucking $400 card, which is beyond irritating to me. They say it can take weeks, as it needs to give the seller time to reply and such. Yeah. Europe has way cheaper stuff, or the UK has way cheaper stuff? I mean, hell, so the last time I was in Europe, I mean, it was pre-pandemic, but I could pick up duels in Europe for like half of what they were here in the US. I was stunned. And I could actually play Legacy in Europe, which I loved, because I love playing Legacy. In the US, you have to go to like one of 10 cities to really play Legacy consistently. Yeah. Yeah, the next time I'm buying duels, like multiple duels, I'll probably just fly over to Europe and buy them there. I've noticed, like, for whatever reason, they're way cheaper in France and in Germany than pretty much everywhere else. But pretty much anywhere that would work. I mean, like, difference of several $100s per duel. So even if I pick up 2, it's a lot better. Yeah, but you guys also have a nationalized health service? Like, you get a lot of benefits for your taxes. But the whole Brexit thing was pretty stupid. Which I don't think you guys are experiencing the full fallout of that even yet. I have to run to the restroom real quick because my back teeth are floating. I will be right back. I'm going to mute the mic, and we will continue this. If you think the NHS is busted, look at the wait times in the U.S. For non-elective surgeries. So, I've had emergency service. I've had emergency surgeries that have been put off by like weeks in the U.S. And that was with high-end private insurance. Like there was more than one instance where I nearly died because of delays in emergency surgeries because of how busted the medical system is here in the United States. It's outrageous, especially considering how much we pay for healthcare as a country. Okay, I'm back. Just another thing. We have to pay on top of tax called national insurance. We lose like 33% of our wages when we get the. We have to pay another 20% on stuff that we buy. And a private healthcare provider, but I still have to pay national health insurance for the NHS. Yeah, but I mean, I get that, but just as an example, what does it cost if you need an ambulance? This is a fun one. Because I had to call an ambulance for my father about a year and a half ago. And the closest medical facility, which is the one that he ended up at, is less than a mile from my house. He was here at my house when he had his medical emergency that we had to call EMS. Guess how much that less than a mile taxi ride to the ER cost? Even after insurance, because my father has Medicaid, Medicare, not Medicaid. He has Medicare because he's retired. Dude, that's almost the same. That's the same price that it costs for Pepsi here. Okay, so ambulances are covered with your national insurance. So after Medicare, which is supposed to cover ambulances, I wish it was $1,000. That would have been nice. It was $19,000 before insurance, before Medicare. After Medicare, it was $7,000. $7,000 fucking dollars for less than a mile. And then he was in the hospital for 9 days. Like, altogether, those 9 days cost me $80,000. That's a fucking house. I mean, to be fair, like, his blood glucose had crashed so far that he was in a complete psychotic meltdown. He was not. He was experiencing diabetic psychosis. My father has diabetes. So, like, I genuinely needed EMS's help. Where do I get all this money from over there? Well, I work in data security. I have a very high paying job. I save a lot. And also I actually had to take out loans to pay for that. So I ended up paying for that over the course of about a year. It was very expensive. But there's a lot of people that literally just can't afford it. Like, they go bankrupt. They literally go bankrupt over medical debt here. Like, lose their houses, lose their vehicles, lose everything. There are people who have become homeless, a lot of people that have become homeless in the United States because of one medical bill. And it's insane. And it's wrong. So yeah, paying high taxes sucks, but it's way better than losing everything because, like, you have a fall, or because of something outside of your control. Like, as humans, we just need to do better. And the United States healthcare system is completely fucking broken. It's disgusting. I also ended up having to get help from his mother. My grandmother, who is pretty well off. Yeah, it is genuinely insane what healthcare costs are in the United States. There should be rage here. Like, the way medical pricing is here and the way our debt laws work, like, there's a lot of things that even if you file bankruptcy, you can't get wiped away. Student loans are one of them. It's crazy. Now, what's your average wait time for, like, your primary care physician? Because, like, I have to schedule 6 months in advance. And even then, they'll generally reschedule me like 3 or 4 times. It's a giant mess. And, like, the wait times in ERs, they're insane. Because for a lot of people, that's the only real way they can access medical care. Because there are laws in the United States where if you go into an ER, they can't turn you down for an emergency. Which ends up kind of backfiring, and that people that can't afford, can't really afford medical procedures, or I don't mean like elective stuff either, like genuine medical issues, end up flooding ERs because that's their only real option. So it's a whole giant mess. And I have very strong feelings about nationalized healthcare. Like, we absolutely should have it. Like, the United States is the only developed nation that doesn't have nationalized healthcare. And that's stupid. Because overall, it is much cheaper to do. But even if it feels more expensive, I guarantee you, it is the level of service that you get for your currency is way better. 62 days would be fantastic in the United States. Like 62 days isn't even your first appointment in the United States. So private works in a vacuum. The problem is that there is a profit motive when it's privatized, and profit motives for public good are never a good thing. Like, because that ends up in degraded service over time, and it can lead to monopolies, which are themselves an issue. Like, there should not be a profit motive for, say, medicines. It just shouldn't exist, because people need those to continue to live, so they don't really have a choice. Anytime that someone doesn't have a choice, there should never be a profit motive, if that makes sense. So things like healthcare, childcare, food, water, electricity, there shouldn't be a profit motive. Like basic food, like groceries. That's why they tend to subsidize certain food groups. But necessities, there should never be a profit motive there, because by having a profit motive there, people are going to end up dying. Like it becomes a tax on life at that point. See, that's the thing. There are plenty of places that have nationalized pharmaceutical companies. For instance, quite a few pharmaceutical companies in India are owned by are nationalized at this point. So there is no profit motive there, which is why the medicine is dirt cheap. Yeah. I mean, I get that. What's your price per kilowatt? Do you know? I think it's like 79 cents per kilowatt here, which is pretty high. But I also live in a municipality that has municipal power instead of primary grid power. Oh. I'm trying to find this stream on my, there it is. Now I can see chat on my phone, so I can move around and organize some of this other stuff while I go. Okay. So, I have a set of secret I have a bunch of secret layers that are in the queue. Let's see, that's little walkers and littler walkers. To do those together as one secret layer Sunday. That's not going to be this week though. That'll probably be next week. Oh, this week is Easter, isn't it? It's Protestant Easter, so that actually, I should record those this week or tonight and put them out tomorrow. Because that kind of goes with the whole Easter theme. $33p per kilowatt? That's fantastic, man. That's less than half what I pay. I just checked mine. It's 79 cents a kilowatt here. And the pound sterling is at parity with the dollar right now, isn't it? Yeah, 33p per kilowatt is fantastic. Like, at that price, you can almost afford to crypto mine. Like, crypto mining hasn't been profitable in my area for, like, years. Like, even if Bitcoin was $100,000 a coin, it wouldn't be profitable to Bitcoin mine here. Okay, let's see. These got land packs. Woo! Yeah, you pay almost half what I do for electricity. So it could definitely be worse. Our gas is heavily subsidized. Yeah, the price per kilowatt. Yeah, my average electricity bill is like $300 a month. And we're pretty frugal with our electricity. So, the whole thing. Let's see. Where's some other big ones? Our water and sewer bill is really expensive. But again, that's because we're in a smaller municipality. Jesus. Okay, so that's about 70% more than it is here. Actually, I'm not sure what diesel is running right now. But that's pretty much always been the case. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, so our diesel right now is $4.04 a gallon. So yeah, you pay a little bit more than twice what we pay for diesel. But I mean, that's pretty much always been the case, too. Right, but it doesn't have the refining capability, does it? I mean, yeah, Scotland has a lot of oil, but also we need to be moving away from internal combustion and towards, more renewable sources. So, kind of a thing. But yeah, it's. I mean, you say that, and but there's. Have you driven an electric vehicle before? Like the amount of torque that you get out of an electric motor versus a combustion engine is just, it's night and day. Jesus. Oh, that's funny. No, I'm big into renewables. I've actually got a friend that races electric vehicles, and it's fantastic. So, like there's why? It's just a different fuel source. Like, what does it matter? And like the acceleration on them is stunning. They're so much fun too. Why? Like, what's the purpose in hating them? Like, they're cleaner. They don't produce things that are bad for they don't produce as much bad for the environment. They're tons of fun. It's like driving a spaceship. It's awesome. The hydrogen vehicles are cool too. The problem with hydrogen vehicles that I've run into, I actually know 2 different people that own hydrogen vehicles, is finding a fill-up station. My hybrid's 10 years old. The battery's fine. I've put 120,000 miles on my hybrid, and the battery is absolutely fine on it. And I get 50, I think it was 53 miles to the gallon. This is my most recent average. I have no places to charge it either. I mean, that's more of an early adopter problem. Once they start putting vehicle charging stations in places, it's in more places, especially around Europe, it'll get a lot better. And like the whole way gas stations work now, you have to think of it differently. Because, say, instead of having vehicle charging stations at gas stations, they have them at like parks or restaurants or like libraries, movie theaters, places like that. So you have something to do while you wait. And really, the amount of time that you wait isn't that much more than when you're just filling up. You get 56 miles per gallon average. Yeah, that's pretty good. But mine also doesn't run on diesel. So my average fuel cost is $2.80 a gallon. And I'm getting about that same with my hybrid. So my cost per mile is like a quarter of what yours is. Most of the other, gas-powered vehicles that my friends have get between like 15 and 30 miles to the gallon. So I'm getting close to double. Well, in the case of the 15, I'm getting, more than triple what they're getting. So it makes sense to me. No place to charge it at home. Well, I mean, you can get a charger installed. Like you have wall plug ones that you can use that generally take about 8 hours to run. Those are a little bit slower. It is a slow charge. Japanese tuner cars. Dude, there are some awesome tuner cars that have been coming out in the last couple of years. Like there was a Skyline that they did that's full electric. It can though. Like they have a full electric Skyline. I think it's a concept. I think you would be surprised if you actually tried one out. Like the initial acceleration is way better. You can't park near your house as it's a cul-de-sac. So you don't have a private drive? I mean, that's what recordings are for, man. Like you can make an electric car make whatever sound you want. No sound, and the fake sounds are horrible, and like 5K. Come on. I think the difference in acceleration is worth it. A drive would be like a year's wages for you. Yeah, that's the thing, I guess. That's what they make extension cords for. Now, so like, there's several neighborhoods here in the U.S. that have been adding charging stations on the street in the neighborhood, and they're not really disruptive, and it works out really well. So it's just a matter of the infrastructure catching up with public demand, which I think there will be a lot more of in the next few years. So I'm actually really excited about, there's a company in the US called Edison that's been working on a hybrid big rig semi-trucks. They've been working on hybrid semi-trucks, and they've been doing some really cool stuff. You don't have to run cables over the road. And they also make portable raceways for cables. So we use them a lot for events here. It's like a little track that the cable runs in, and it has a wedge on either side, so you can just drive over it. If they could build charging ports into the streetlights, it would be huge. Not necessarily. Like the entire setup for a charging port is only about the size of a bread box. Like, they're not big. Or do you mean like it would be a huge change? Because that's actually what they've been trying to do. Is they've been adding like on street lights and like street poles, like electric poles. They've been putting charging stations at the bases of those because they already have an electric source to tap into. Oh, it's on the other side of the road to your house. Yeah, so in that case, they would have to put in a charging station. So, like, it's just logistics. Like, I think the biggest thing slowing down the adoption of electric vehicles excuse me, I got the hiccups. Slowing down charging stations overall, or not charging stations, but electric vehicles overall, is the availability of charging stations in residential areas. And once they overcome that infrastructure shortfall, there will be much better adoption. Yeah, they would be mega useful. That's why certain municipalities have been adopting them. Like I'm really excited about it, especially with more broad availability of rooftop solar and rooftop wind turbine technologies. Well, not technologies. That's the wrong word. Um, they've become more available because the base price of installation has been getting a lot cheaper. Like the move to renewables is just really exciting for me. In fact, I'm interviewing next week with a renewables company. It's because it seems like a really interesting set of positions. And they pay really well. So. The A5 is nice. What I could buy, petrol versus electric. Petrol, I'm looking at a Nissan 370Z or an Audi A5. For that money in electric cars, I'd only get a Nissan Leaf. Hey, don't knock the Nissan Leaf. That is a fun little car. Yeah, I mean, it looks a little dinky, but it's got more pep than you think. I would really love an electric Morgan. American called Plexus. Okay. I have heard of Plexus. I have not looked at their products. I don't know exactly what they make, but I have heard of them very loosely. I want an electric Morgan +8. I used to have a +8, and I fucking loved that car. It was fantastic. Unfortunately, I let a friend drive it one weekend, and he wrecked it because he wasn't used to right-hand drive. It's a very sad day. But like an electric one would be fantastic. It's such a fun car. I would genuinely pay double for an electric one. Oh, now you're talking. Jaguar E-Type? Hell yeah. There's a guy I've been talking to over Discord for a couple of years now that is working on a retrofit for a 55 Bel Air, and he's putting a full electric engine in it. And oh my god, that thing is gorgeous. They've he fully restored the shell of I think it was a 55 Bel Air, and he's managed to retrofit it with yeah. Yeah, I think that's all of our problems. I mean, I'm technically one on paper, but not in practical terms. Most of what I have is tied up in investments and property. But if you don't mind me asking, how much do you make? I'll tell you how much I was making 10 years ago, and about how much. Actually, I can tell you how much I made this past year because I just did my taxes. Before tax, well, I mean, see, there's your problem. Before tax, like 24 pounds. Or 24k pounds. Okay, so 10 years ago, I was making 55k a year. This year, I made just over 320,000. So, yeah. Yeah, this past year I made just over 320,000 gross. And that was working full remote. So, it's a thing. It's also why I've been able to take off, for the last several months. Because it was originally to care for a family member that was end of life. I mean, I live in a furniture town. I don't have a bachelor's degree. I was actually thrown out of school before I finished my bachelor's degree. So, it's a thing. And I don't have any major certs either. I just have a lot of work experience at this point. It really just depends on the industry that you're working in. Yeah. All about that grind, man. And not being afraid to jump between companies. Well, what do you do? I mean, you can get a junior developer position, a remote junior developer position, making 60k a year. You just have to put in the effort for it. Which means like building up a decent portfolio of work that you can show. Like generally it's like GitHub with some projects that you've done and some contributions to other projects. In fact, the place that I was at just before I took my, we're going to call it a sabbatical. Junior, I'm old as hell. Dude, at the bank I just was working at up until November, you're not old as hell. You're the same age as me within a few years. You are 3 years older than me. The team that I was leading at the place that I left back in November, the youngest person under me was 27, and then the next youngest person under me was 35. I was 34. I'll be 35 in July. But everyone else that was under me, I had over 50 total reports. I had 13 direct reports. Just about everyone else were in their 40s or older, including some of our junior associates. In fact, one of our junior associates was 57, and he pivoted into IT 2 years ago at the age of 55. And while he was working under me, he transitioned from being a junior developer to an intermediate developer. I was making 120,000 a year, if I remember correctly, working full remote. So, not to be too pointed, but like if you have the drive, age is just a number, and using your age to say that you can't start something new is just an excuse. No offense. Like, in fact, I have friends working in IT right now that didn't get their start in IT until they were in their 40s or 50s. Do they? Because generally they either want a degree or they want to see your previous work experience and a portfolio. So the thing that I've used to get around degree requirements is that I have several years in the industry already, and I've worked on major projects. Many of those major products, products, yes, but many of those major projects, I keep saying products, each of those major projects were ones that I generally initiated within the organizations that I was working at. So it generally comes down to seeing a problem where you're working, or seeing a problem in your industry overall, and then making something to solve that problem. Yeah. But my first junior developer job, I had zero experience in anything in IT. My first junior developer position, I went in making 50,000 a year, which I think it might have been 55,000. It's either 50 or 50,000, 50 or 55,000. I had no experience whatsoever in IT. I had no credentialing whatsoever. In fact, I had been working as a mechanic for about a year and a half before that, changing oil. Most of what we were doing was oil changes, so I was a lube tech basically. And I showed the company that I wanted to work for 4 example programs that I had made that just did like really basic stuff effectively. I should set up a TCG shop. I did that for a little while. It's fun, but it is a very different world than what I normally do. But I've considered doing it again. I just need to start up again. Yeah, see, like, that's the thing. I hated that job. It was awful. I always came home covered in old oil. I would smell awful because there was no climate control in the building we were in. In the winter, we would freeze because we had to wear uniforms we had to wear that just did not stay warm in the winter, and in the summer, like, because it was kind of a woven blend, like, you could not get cool. Like, you just melted in the summer. And I'm a bigger guy, so, like, I don't like being hot to begin with. So, it was one of the most miserable jobs I've ever had. And then the stuff that I did before that was like retail, warehouse work, not IT stuff whatsoever. I worked in sales for a little while. Like, it was not great. Let's put it that way. But yeah, you were not too old to do something new. IT is an option if you want to break into the industry. It just takes a little bit of legwork. And then, of course, there are tons of other options. You could start a business if you really wanted to. I don't know what business you would start, but you could. Yep. Yeah, my partner, my partner did factory work for several years, and before that did a lot of retail. And then they shifted into IT for about a year. Turns out that wasn't a good fit. It turns out that wasn't a good fit for them, and they had a bit of a breakdown. Yeah, they went from making about 30K a year to making 75K a year, just out of the gate. But they also, kind of had a family connection with the company that offered them a job, so that's a thing. Yeah, it really just depends on what you want to do and what direction you want to go. Like, if you want to do factory work, you could always move towards like the management track to try and make more there, or become a trainer. I know a lot of people get promoted in factory settings to become trainers. Like, there's definitely ways to advance. It's figuring out how you want to do it and what path you want to take. I mean, granted, management's not for everyone. I enjoy it. About half my time at my last position was managing people, and then the rest was doing actual IT work. Well, I say that like that was most of what we did. About a quarter of my time was actually spent doing actual IT work. There was a lot of meetings. About a quarter of my time was meetings and making suggestions and writing policy, and then the other half of the time was managing people. Yeah. So there are definitely ways to grow your stuff financially, and investing investing as you go too really helps. Would be great if there were more work options here. Yeah, that is a common problem. But on the bright side, the internet exists. So if you're able to do remote work, that can make a really big impact. Just something to consider. Also, hashtag not legal advice, hashtag not financial advice, not life advice. I take no responsibility for your choices. Your mileage may vary with any of these suggestions. Please consult a physician to make sure that you are, in fact, well enough to do different work. All those good liability caveats. Yeah, that's just the path I took. Like, I originally went to school for math and physics. My plan was to be a scientist, not to work in IT, and that just didn't work out. Hey man, I live in a very litigious society. You've got to cover your bases sometimes. And by sometimes, I mean always. Yeah, I mean, that's how the system works, right? They're there to use. Chemistry is great. I have an uncle that is a chemist, and my grandfather was a chemist. on my dad's side. Oh man, there was a meme a few years ago. Into chemistry? Why not cook meth? Oh, that was such a good one. I will need to find that someday. Obviously, don't cook meth. I don't recommend. Recommend doing that. It tends to have negative outcomes. If not for you, for the people around you. But yeah, I like chemistry too. It is surprising. Yeah, definitely don't cook meth. That is a joke. It's meant to be funny. That is all around a bad idea. Isn't it? I thought they were having a problem with it in some of the working class neighborhoods, mostly in England. It was an article, I think it was about Brighton and Sheffield. They were having problems with meth there. I don't entirely remember though. So I do know it was really popular among I know it was really popular with the skinheads for a while. But I also don't know how prevalent that group is. I would hope that they're not super prevalent. It was probably some kind of sensationalism here. A lot of the... You have to be really careful about your news sources here. Oh, cocaine is a hell of a drug. I don't see what everyone's problem with it is. Heroin is a mess, and cannabis is whatever. It's like I don't care for cannabis. Probably because I have a pretty severe allergy to it. But yeah, I don't see what the big hang up with cocaine is. Like, it's not great for your heart, but there's a lot of things that aren't great for your heart. Like, cheeseburgers aren't great for your heart either. And I guarantee you the energy drinks that I smash on a regular are about as bad for my heart as it. Yeah, I use nicotine on the regular. I have been a smoker for 22 years now. Now I need a cocaine disclaimer. Yeah, I mean, if it's legal where you're at, go for it. If it's not, don't get caught. Like, I genuinely don't understand the hang-ups that most people have with cocaine. But that is my personal opinion. I also think it's really messed up that there is such a disparity in the sentencing the sentencing guidelines in the United States for crack cocaine versus powder cocaine. Is it actually legal anywhere? Yeah, it's legal in several countries in South America. It's legal in a few countries in Asia. It's decriminalized in Portugal, and I believe it's decriminalized in Holland. I'm not 100% sure on that one. That's a fantastic. You know what? We're gonna Google search that. It's not like my Google search history isn't already fucked. Where is cocaine legal? Where is cocaine legal is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th most searched where is cocaine search, and the 6 before it are all about Cocaine Bear. I mean, Amsterdam is chill. It's not bad. Okay, so in Argentina, it's decriminalized for private use for possession. Sale, transport, and cultivation is illegal. Australia, oddly enough, it is legal medically. Australia. And it's Schedule 8. It's just, it's controlled, but not super controlled. That's kind of cool. Brazil, it's decriminalized for private use, but sale, transport, and cultivation is illegal. Bolivia, possession is illegal, sale is illegal, transport is illegal, but cultivation is 100% legal. And chewing the leaves and drinking coca tea are considered cultural practices. That is hilarious. But processed cocaine is illegal. Canada, it is decriminalized in British Columbia, and then it is legal medically in all other cases. And whoa. You can have up to 2.5 grams? You can almost have a full fucking 8-ball on you? I might want to move to Canada. Colombia is completely legal up to 1 gram. Cultivation is completely legal. Sale and transport is illegal. So you can have up to... That's funny. So you can receive it as a gift, you can give it as a gift, but if you sell it, it's illegal. And you can have up to 1 gram for personal use. That is hilarious. Czech Republic, it's decriminalized up to 1 gram. All other cases are illegal. Germany, it is legal medically and is decriminalized otherwise. Greece, it is completely decriminalized for private use, and sale is legal for medical reasons with a license. I knew I loved Greece. Well, I mean, my family's from Greece. It's like, huh, it's pretty sure it was legal in Greece, but I wasn't entirely sure. Let's see. It is decriminalized in Italy. Mexico, it's legal up to 0.5 gram. See, Netherlands, it is unenforced up to 2 grams in the Netherlands. So it is technically illegal, but unenforced. Possession, production, and trade are not allowed under the opium law of 1928, which is funny because it's not opium. It's coca, which is completely different. It's a coca alkaloid. although technically illegal possession of less than 1.5 grams usually goes unpunished. See, it's legal in New Zealand, it's legal in Nigeria, Norway, Pakistan, Philippines. It is legal in Peru up to 5 grams. And the coca plants are 100% legal, but selling and transport are illegal. Portugal is decriminalized up to 2 grams. Spain is decriminalized with a fine. Switzerland is decriminalized up to 18 grams. Holy crap. Five Swiss cities are considered the top 10 European cities for cocaine. Well, I would assume such, since you can have up to 18 grams. Holy shit. Yeah, Amsterdam is pretty cool. It's really chill, too. I have to be really careful when I'm there, because I have a very severe allergy to it. And then the United States, where I am, cocaine is a Schedule II drug under the Controlled Substance Act. It remains legal for medical use, while personal use has been decriminalized in Oregon. Cocaine sales and dispensaries are still illegal. So, I did not realize cocaine was was legal medically across the board. That is cool. Huh. Is legal medically to sell, to transport, and to cultivate, and is completely medical. It's medically legal, but also decriminalized for personal use in the state of Oregon. So that's pretty cool. Neat. Oh, alkaloids. The alkaloid derivatives. But I mean, just straight cocaine. Refined and freebase cocaine are both medically legal in the United States. Let's see. It used to just be broadly legal. The Controlled Substances Act. Yeah, it was completely unregulated and completely legal until May 1971, which explains my parents' generation. Heck yeah, we used to do coke all the time. Yeah, it's a painkiller. It's an anesthetic. It's one of the most powerful painkillers around. I mean, granted, opioids are stronger, but it has a different effect than opioids. So it's actually a pain signal blocker. That's because all the drug wars. No, it's because Nixon had a stick up his ass. The drug wars happened after the Controlled Substances Act. Making it illegal is what made it so profitable. Which is why the war on drugs was such a failure. Because by making it less generally available, they made it more expensive, which brought a larger profit motive into it. If they fully decriminalized it and regulated it in such a way that it was available, but not to where it was illicitly profitable, then the amount of crime related to it would plummet. It would go effectively to zero. Because if you take away the profit motive, then you don't have to worry about it. That's the whole thing. The reason why it's so so enticing for organized crime is because of the profit motive. Like, if they can make money doing it, they will make money doing it. And if it's broadly available, there's no profit motive there. They either go legitimate and are no longer committing crime, or they find something else to make profit on instead, because the profit motive will no longer be there. Because that's how business works. Like, if there's not money to be made there, then they won't. Yeah, well, I mean, they won't be happy, but they'll move on to something else. It's like with medical marijuana. Like, the cartels that were bringing in massive amounts of marijuana switched to other stuff. That's why fentanyl became... Well, that's part of why fentanyl became such a problem, because marijuana was no longer illegal in many places. It was more broadly available. That's why you saw a huge drop in the amount of marijuana seized at the border and seized through interstate commerce, because it was no longer profitable to do such, because there were dispensaries. So instead of having to deal with a shady dealer in an alley or, wherever, you could instead deal with a nice clean dispensary that gave you exactly what you thought you were getting. I mean, the illicit gun trade is complicated, but not for the reasons that most people think it's complicated. And no, most of them actually moved into synthetic opioids over meth and heroin. So most of the meth production isn't out of the United States. Most of the meth that's sold in the United States is made in the United States. Heroin tends to be more of a problem coming in through Asia and through parts of Africa than it does through our southern border. Most of our southern border is going to be cocaine and opioids, or synthetic opioids, just because of where it's produced. Most of the heroin actually comes in through ports. Is it? I thought you just need to have a license and pass a background check and have a reason for owning one? If that makes sense. Like, I thought guns for sport were fairly available for hunting and sport. Like, I'm pretty sure self-defense isn't considered a good reason. But I'm also not really big on UK gun regulations. That hasn't been something that I've paid a lot of attention to. I mean, in all honesty, it is way too easy to get firearms in the United States. And I say that as a responsible gun owner. Reason, license, background, home visit from the police. I mean, that's not bad. Yeah, because, having a gun for self-defense, statistically, having a gun for self-defense is less likely to result in a positive outcome than having just about anything else. In fact, if I remember correctly, the best self-defense weapon is a bat with a tube sock. If you're going by whether or not it will be turned against you, or you will have a negative outcome resulting in death of either you or another person, that is connected with you. Like, you are more likely to either shoot yourself or shoot a family member than you are. I mean, we can carry a bow around on the street too. If the guy has a knife, a gun isn't going to help you most of the time. Because you need approximately 60 feet of distance between you and the guy with the knife before they can close in time to disable you before you can fire your weapon, or before you can aim and fire your weapon. 20 meters. 20 meters is the distance that you need between you and a person with a knife before they can close and disable you before you can aim and fire. That is the general rule of thumb. So, I mean, I personally carry a knife for self-defense. Yeah, buckshot doesn't do a whole lot if they actually get close enough to you. Especially if you have a legal barrel length, which is 19 inches. And you do have to aim. Also, the likelihood of collateral damage in a home setting with buckshot is very high. So if you have children, you have family members that live with you, pets, like, the likelihood of having one of them also injured is very high. In fact, you are more likely to shoot a family member, a child, a pet, than you are to shoot an intruder or to have an accident that harms one of them. Pretty sure the legal length in the UK is either 19 or 21 inches. That's what it is in most places. Anything shorter is considered a sawed-off, and it's considered illegal. So. Yeah, I own a few firearms. I generally keep them locked up. I've done sport and competition shooting a few times. It's fine. I generally would rather spend 24 inches. Yeah, okay. That's still reasonable. I mean, shotguns also aren't intended to be used in close quarters anyway. They're generally intended for hunting, but they're also very effective at anti-personnel, which is a thing. Just a thought. But yeah, a billy club or a baseball bat, cricket bat with a sock on it, far more effective for home defense. Even if the other person has a knife. I have personal experience with that one. Yeah, I mean, you could get one for competition shooting. That's about it. Also, again, even a handgun, not great for home defense. I hate to break it to you. Like, as someone who has been in more than one home defense situation, I would much rather have a baseball bat than a handgun in most situations. Far less risk of collateral damage, far less risk of it being turned on you. Also, it's a lot harder for a child to shoot themselves or someone else by accident with a baseball bat. Worst case, they might bonk themselves a little too hard, get a knot on the head, versus, blowing a hole in their head and no longer being with us, which is a tragedy that happens far too often in the United States. So. And don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-gun. They are effective tools for what they're intended for, most of the time. Unfortunately, too many people treat them like toys, or means of entertainment. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is genuinely more effective. A bludgeoning object is generally more effective for home defense than a firearm. Also, I don't know if you've ever fired a firearm in close quarters or a confined space, but it is very disorienting. For both the person firing it and the person not. Again, this is from personal experience. And there's quite a bit of statistics backing it up, too. Like, it will deafen you for several minutes. It will potentially, flash blind you for a few minutes. Yeah, see, there you go. Just means you need to go over the top. Instead of swinging side to side, you swing top to bottom. Just bring it down on them. Hell, a hatchet. Hatchet will get the job done. I might consider putting a hatchet by the bed. Yeah, that stuff is, again, very likely to blow back on you. Yeah, I mean, lunge forward works too. Sword tip is always the nasty end. It depends on the sword, I guess. But you're not wrong. It is pretty nasty end. But, yeah, so we had a break-in a few years ago, where someone kicked in the front door, and, I tend to sleep either in just my boxers or in the nude. So this kid, busted in, kicked in the door, thought he was gonna grab some stuff, and then I come out of the bedroom with a baseball bat, completely naked, and he literally pissed his pants in my foyer. And went off running. And the funny thing, the kid had a gun. Like, I'm not super tall, but I am very broad. I'm very big. And reasonably well built, so. Kid probably thought I was gonna eat him. They caught him a couple blocks away. That was the only time we've had a break-in here. Back where I used to live, we had multiple break-ins. Compound, recurve, longbow. What kind of? My father-in-law bow hunts, so I know a little bit about bows because we've talked about it quite a bit. And my partner used to do archery. I did a little bit, but not a whole lot. Compound bow, yeah. Those are really popular these days. I'm partial to longbows, like the English longbow or the French longbow. I really like the traditional Japanese bows, but I can never remember the name for them. I think they're just really neat looking. It really depends on what you're backing the target with. We normally use hay bales or logs for backing here. Wow, it has already been 2 hours. Mud and soil. Yeah, that's a thing. Shooting arrows into the dirt. Yeah. I've gone bow hunting a few times. Like it's fine. Like, I'm just not really good at shooting a bow. Just not good at it. So that's the whole thing. Also, sometimes I get distracted, and yeah, arrow tips are really expensive. That's why you tend to use blunt tips for practice. It's like broadheads and hunting tips are very expensive. I mean, blunt tips are expensive too, but not as expensive. You're not allowed crossbows, but you can have a harpoon. Well, I mean, you're really that worried about home defense, you could get a harpoon. Tally-ho! Whack! That's funny. Trying to remember if I still have my spear gun. So for a while, when I was in school, I went diving a few times, and I bought a spear gun. I don't remember what I did with it. I don't know if I still own it or not. I think it's packed away somewhere in the basement. I don't think I got rid of it. I just don't know where it is. So that's the whole thing, I guess. Imagine someone breaking in to see the owner standing with a harpoon gun, with them shouting, "Be gone, Moby Dick." I think I would probably shout something more along the lines of, "Call me Ishmael!" Or yeah, just like tally-ho, something like that, just general buffoonery. Yeah, I could imagine it definitely getting crazy. But, yeah. Bow hunting in the UK is generally illegal. Wow. Well, I mean, they're not wrong. It is kind of inhumane, but we're kind of behind on animal rights in the U.S. That and venison is tasty. Yeah, deer don't quite cross that cute to tasty threshold. Yeah, yes, they're adorable, but they taste way better. So, it's a whole thing. That and they're kind of a pest. At least here. Okay, so 2 days ago, it was 30 degrees Celsius, 85-ish degrees Fahrenheit. Today, it's 8 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, they're considered a nuisance here. They eat a lot of crops, and they get in the roadways. I know they were wreaking havoc on my garden last year. My vegetable garden last year. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to plant one this year or not. Yeah, it was 30°C here 2 days ago. And it's 8°C today. Let's see, we had it get up to... We had a day in February where it got up to 34°C. Which is the hottest I have ever seen it get in February. Like, that's normally about what we hit in July. and we hit that in February. Why would you want to... If you hunt with a rocket-propelled grenade, you're going to spend more time picking up the bits than you are, you know, finding the animal. Ain't no one got time for that. Instead of having, you know, something to eat, or worst case a trophy, you're gonna have a fine mist and like chunks of meat spread everywhere. That's if it detonates and doesn't just go through. It's not gonna cook it. It's just gonna... You're just gonna smell burnt hair and see effectively hamburgers spread across a 50-meter radius. It's only efficient if it doesn't spread it over, you know, the entire area that you're in. And also, you got to worry about all the guts and everything else that's in there, and little bits of metal. Because I assume you would use... I guess you would have to use an anti-personnel grenade on the RPG instead of an anti-material grenade, because an anti-material grenade's just gonna vaporize it. Deer mints. Yeah, I mean, it's mints, but it's also spread all around and has little bits of metal in it. Like, you'd have to pass it through a sieve, and then you've just got pink goo. Yeah, I generally prefer my meat not tainted with with shards of metal and propellant. Gross. It just sounds like a bad time for everyone. Damn. Well, I mean, the magnet might help with picking up all the little chunks. But you're still gonna have deer poo mixed in with everything. So that's a thing. It would get most of them. Well, it would get some of them. It would get all the ferrous parts out. If I remember correctly, the outer, or not the outer, the intermediate housing on an RPG is made out of copper, so a magnet's not going to help you with that. You know what we should use for hunting? Depleted uranium rounds. Okay. Like, come on. We're gonna hunt with a tow missile. Yeah. I show these deer some wire-guided hell. Just think of the fun. I mean, if turning woodland creatures into fine mist is your version of fun. Excuse me. would definitely add some kind of seasoning. I would like my venison with a side of cancer, please. It makes it spicy venison. On the bright side, you wouldn't have any problem finding it in the dark. It would already be glowing for you. Help with the cooking process. Jeez. I'm not sure that uranium provides that much microwave radiation. I'm pretty sure most of it's beta particle and gamma radiation. A little more, carries a little more energy than most microwaves. Also, microwaved meat is just gross. It's all rubbery. So, let's see, what do I need to do today? I have another sink to fix. So, I don't know if you were here for the live stream where one of the sinks just decided to blow a line. We had another sink do that this morning, like 7 a.m. Like, I don't know what the heck is going on with our plumbing lately, but we've had 3 sink lines fail in like 2 months. Whatever happened to ice bullets? They melt. They turn back into water. Also, they have a tendency to break up before they reach their target. They are generally impractical, from my understanding. They either break up or sublimate before they reach the target. Or at least that's my understanding. Eh. Leaves no trace. Yeah, also leaves no projectile. Like, it doesn't leave a trace, but it also just doesn't get to the victim. I mean, if it depends. If you're propelling it with powder, then it's not going to get there. If you're like using an air rifle, I could see that being more effective, but then you have to have something powerful enough to accelerate the bit of ice. So, I don't know. I'm not really into experimental firearms. At least not to the degree to know whether or not that would be an effective strategy. So, that's the thing. I don't think they make videos anymore, do they? I thought they stopped making videos a few years ago. Oh, where did I put that thing? Oh. Do I have a box for Origins? Is the question. I'm not gonna find her for Origins. I have a box for Origins. I didn't open a ton of Origins. Let's see, we got Battle for Zendikar. Origins. Oh, we do have a box for Origins. That's cool. Oh. Well, that is it. Oh. Oh, and Magic Origins was very light. Right. Origins feels like it was forever ago. There was a guy, the professional Russian, who was actually just some guy in the U.S. He was a character, but he got shut down by the ATF because he had something illegal. I don't remember. And then there was a whole weird bunch of stuff that happened there. I remember watching a video on him, on like, what happened to this guy? Kind of thing. Wow, I did not open a ton of Origins, apparently. Hey. Yeah, this needs to get organized at some point. That will be for another stream. Yep. Dry ice and CO2? Yeah, I mean, that might work better. I don't know. But alright, I have been streaming for 2.5 hours. It is time for lunch at this point. I am very, very much ready to eat lunch. It has been a lot of fun, Scorpion Nuff. Or Scorpion Rough. Jeez. But this fat man is hungry, so I'm going to call this the end of the stream. Thank you everyone for joining. It's been a blast. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Woo! And until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye. All right. Have a good